Okay, started.
Perfect. Well, how are you guys? Welcome to a new community call starting March. And this week I have a super nice announcement something I find very exciting, that we got one of the early days Kleros OGs to get back to the team. So you might remember maybe Damian, who used to work with us in communication, starting in 2018. That was super early. And well, he left 2 years ago, worked at different things, and now he's coming back to the team to help with communications as before, and also take in charge event management. And well, Damian, he knows Kleros very well, and he has been at very important moments of the life of the project. I remember him especially when we did the launch of the tokens registry during the HCC in Paris. I think that was in 2019 maybe. So that was a really important moment of the project, because the launch of the tokens app also came with the launch of Kleros, what we would call now Kleros 1.0, the Kleros Liquid. So before that, we had the previous one that was the Dodgers on trial prototype. So yeah, so I mean, remember perfectly Damian and us being at the house. We shared at the phones in Paris. Yeah, in the very early days. Do you remember that, William, the launch of tokens?
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's indelibly scarred into my memory.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it worked.
It was fun, but like, it was stressful times. Everybody like working through the night to like finish small details.
Yeah. If you're not ashamed of your product, then you launch too late. As Paul Graham said. And also, and correct me if I'm wrong, William, I think we launched tokens at the same time we launched the Kleros Liquid contract.
That's true. Yeah. We also put out the first version of the Kleros book, and we had talks at ECC all in the same week. It's a fun week.
Yeah, and the Kleros and the cooperative meeting as well, and the funds. Yeah. Okay. So super happy that we have Damian back. He's a very early day Kleros OG. Cool stuff happening now. We are going to make a conference on the March 8th in the Assas, where Jan is doing his PhD, and Jamila, you two are the PhDs in Assas, right?
Yes, same university.
Yeah. So this is the best law school in France, and we are putting together with them an event on technology and decentralized justice next week, March 8th. If you happen to be in Paris at 6 p.m., we will share with you, of course, the invite and the brochure, so you can go there. They have this very cool incubator that they put together for legal tech, and we will have lots of cool people from the legal industry going there. There's going to be 2 panels. One of them is going to be moderated by one of the very old friends of the project, Sophie Nappert. She's going to fly especially from London to moderate one of the panels, and we're going to have people from different organizations. Some are from legal law firms, and others are from Big 4 advisory companies that provide legal services like PricewaterhouseCoopers. And then we are going to have other people who are professors at Assas. So yeah, super excited about that. And of course, going to be there. And then we are also planning another conference more. So this one is more for legal professionals, practitioners. We are also planning one for July. Going to be a bigger one, also at the CREP, the Paris Center of Law and Economics. That is part of a research center, part of Assas University. About, some of you might remember the conference we did at Leicester University in 2020. mostly for motivating academics and researchers to do research on Kleros. So that went really well. Then we got COVID, as you know, and now that we can go back to do conferences, we are going to do one in Paris. It's going to have a bunch of tracks. One of them is going to be crypto economics, different discussions on different researchers studying mechanism design, Kleros, how this interacts with AI and other mechanisms. Then we will have another track more about legal studies and how Kleros interacts with law. How the traditional discussion we have about neuroconvention, recognition of rulings and traditional courts, all of the Mexico case, which you might know very well already. And then other panels is going to be about use cases for decentralized justice, and maybe we'll finish with some keynote by some. I don't want to say any. I don't want to spoil anything. So so this is going to happen probably just before ETHCC. So if you plan to go to ETHCC in Paris, you might also want to maybe go a few days before or book for a few days before the ETHCC, so you can also go to that conference. Okay, so we have that. So organizing that, then a lot of my time this week is being spent in preparing the cooperative report that I have to present every year as president in our annual meeting. So that's something I'm writing now and need to finish in maybe in a couple, maybe one week. Then also doing a bunch of research, what they mentioned before about behavioral game theory, how this can affect the Kleros mechanism, some bunch of stuff that we have been doing together with William. And so and then those were most of my time, and also a very important milestone for the project. Apparently we now have a working credit card that we can use to pay stuff, which you might think it's silly, but it's not very obvious for blockchain companies because of banks. So Juan, thank you very much for that hard work you put into getting us that. So yeah, that's important. Okay, so we have that. Then I will let the moment you've been waiting for, which is William's segment. Yeah, please go ahead, William.
Yeah, so I mean the same stuff that we've been talking about in previous weeks. Like as Fede mentioned, we've been thinking about some of the literature of behavioral game theory and whether we can kind of augment our the models we use, particularly around like challenger and submitter games. If we have kind of different profiles for how different participants think, in terms of like their willingness to try to like punish each other for perceived violations, kind of following like what we see in experiments around how different people behave in games where they're trying to like interacting and like there's some perceived norm and you can kind of like take cost to yourself to punish a norm breaker. So I'm thinking about some experiments we could potentially do to see if we could adapt some of the existing experiments done in behavioral game theory to make them a little more Kleros like, see if we could actually kind of like like if we put these phenomena more in a Kleros setting, are they likely to be able to reproduce the experiments we've seen in the past? So in addition to that, I've been thinking a lot about the kinds of multiple choice research that we've worked on a lot in the past. There's a lot of this in the yellow paper. So there's some interest now in a special case where instead of just having like abstract discrete options where like I'm choosing between A, B, C, D, and E, what if the options are numbers? And like the options are like pay Bob 0, pay Bob 100, pay Bob 50, pay Bob 200, and that there's some interesting like this is like a natural multiple choice use case for Kleros, and it's interesting that the systems, the voting and incentive systems we thought of before, like simplify a lot in this case, but still a lot of our research has kind of useful implications for like. Particularly like they're still in trade-offs around exactly how the incentives work and how flat they are versus how how sharply you penalize people if they like deviate away from the consensus value. So I'm thinking about that, and they're sort of interesting, extensions of our existing work that tie to that.
Yeah, no, so thank you, William. I mean, I would love to tell you more about the use case that we are working on for this research, for the non-binary, but, NDA stuff. So, I mean, hopefully we can, give you more information as soon as this is clear. But yeah, we have been super excited about this type of research because it's a really cool use case. And also it's going to enable a bunch of use cases besides this particular one, where you can use Kleros to assess a bunch of the price of something, of some compensation that is required because in some settlement, in a situation of a legal settlement, and then what is the right compensation amount for this XY stuff that happened. So yeah, so can't say more for now, but super excited about that. So I'm seeing, Damian is here. Maybe Damian, I already mentioned I was so happy to have you back. So maybe you want to say something to the community.
Yeah, greetings. I'm babysitting, so this is why I was a bit late. Greetings, everyone. I see some friendly faces that I know in the call. Those who don't know me, my name is Damian. I used to be, way back when, I used to be the comms manager for Kleros before the team grew to this impressive size of such amazing people. So yeah, since then I've been doing bits and bobs in the space, and now I'm sort of back in the mix. I'll mostly be doing long form writing, a little bit of events on the side, these kinds of things. And I gotta say that after such a long time, being in a Kleros community call makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, especially listening to William with his high level talking, where I was basically feeding the baby until 5 minutes ago, and just listening to this going like, will I ever be able to fully comprehend the all the depths of this man's thinking? Just another regular day at Kleros feeling like a pleb. So yeah, great to be back.
Great to have you back.
Yes, great to have you back. I feel the same about William. What can I say?
Yes, most of us do.
Okay, so we have that. Then, well, Cordy 2, we are starting to plan another demo. I mean, I know what you're thinking. How many more demos are you going to do? I mean, why don't you just launch it? Yeah, I mean, we are, as you know, there are some things that don't depend exactly on us because it's more about the ecosystem. But we are trying to do the next one in April, and it's going to be like almost the finish thing, right? And also we are kind of very much willing to have V2 launched because it also will enable way better decisions in non-binary situations, which is the ones that we are having researching a lot these days, and V2 is way better than the current version. Maybe William, you can explain, I mean, why that is the case. But yeah, so this is another incentive for us to launch very soon.
Yeah, so I mean, the current version, so it uses the same voting system and incentive system in all courts, which has the benefit of simplicity. V2 is going to be more modular, where like different courts can have different voting and incentive systems. And in V1, like most of the use cases that we had in mind, in kind of the like immediate future when we launched, were binary cases or cases that sort of become de facto binary. Like maybe you have like an Oracle question that has lots of different answers, but by the time you realistically get to a Kleros dispute, people have distilled into like a couple of answers that they're arguing about. Like particularly the voting system used is first past the post, sort of plurality voting. So whichever option gets the most votes wins in V1, which works well, it works fine for binary situations. That's sort of the only voting system you can have. And works well enough for these cases that are kind of de facto binary. But when you have like lots of different alternatives, some of which can be very similar and can like split honest votes between them. It's not great for non-binary voting. And you see this with sort of classical elections, where people like have vote splitting when people are running for president or parliament or whatever. And in like Kleros, this would be a particularly concerned in this, like attack-filled world that are blockchains, because if the votes are split between honest answers in a the honest votes are split between a bunch of similar answers, then that kind of lowers the threshold for an attacker to do a 51% attack. They only have to get enough to get above the best honest answer. So in V2, we're going to have modules that can have better voting systems. Like only the courts that need these modules are going to have them, so you don't have to like have extra code complexity, in courts that don't need them that only have binary cases. And it will allow people, like particularly to rank choices. And then those rankings will be aggregated into a collective outcome. And we put a lot of thought into how to adapt the ideas of social choice theory, which is kind of like the design of voting systems for political processes, like what's the best way to hold a presidential election, to this similar but slightly different setting of having people vote in non-binary cases for Kleros and in Schelling point systems.
Good. There you go. How this works. And then we have also had the fellowship update call with people who are doing the fellowship, doing all kinds of research in different elements on Kleros. I don't know, Abir, maybe you want to comment something about that?
Hey guys, sorry, I'm having a bit of connectivity issues right now. Jamelia is here. She can give the update
Oh,
on
yeah.
the fellowship.
Yeah, Jamelia, go ahead.
Hi everyone. So yeah, our sixth batch of fellowship is approaching to an end. We just had a call last week and we had great presentations on the research, and it's really amazing to see people so interested and dedicated, and the level of the research that they're doing is quite amazing. So next month is going to be our last call where our fellows will present their final report, and this is something that would be perhaps like this is the first fellowship I'm participating in, and I'm very, very excited because I feel like this time we have so many different diverse topics. Some of them more focused on legal theory and philosophy, some of them focus more on computer science. So I'm personally quite excited to see the final reports that I don't know, but probably will be able to publish them openly once they're reviewed and done and finalized. But yeah.
Thank you, Jamila. Okay, so we have that. Well, I mentioned already last week about Proof of Humanity V2, also that is already developed. And then ongoing work on different products like Linguo. There was a bug, but now it's fixed. And then we have Curate. We are rethinking some parts of the app. And then like ongoing development work being conducted with all of our different, apps. And I think that's it for this week. I don't know if you have any question, guys.
I believe that there's another event in Paris, in the Paris Arbitration Week, that maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, so this is going to be on the I think March 30. This is so Paris Arbitration Week is arbitration in Paris. I mean, Paris is the world capital of arbitration. That's where the International Chamber of Commerce is, and this is maybe, I'd say, the most important arbitration event in the world, probably, or not far from that. And yeah, I'm going to be participating at one panel in this event, so that's super cool. Yeah, by March 30, I will confirm this exactly on Telegram, but yeah, so excited about that as well. Yeah, London disagree.
And
Well, let them argue with Paris, you know. Okay, both are very important.
well,
arbitration.
lots of events in Paris about legal tech and arbitration. And another thing is that Kleros was mentioned in. Well, there was an article about Kleros in La Nación, which is like a huge, probably the largest newspaper in Latin America, right? I don't know how that happened. Like, did they reach out to you, Federico? How?
Yeah, I mean, newspapers are typically looking for content, and some of them are looking for innovation and startups, and so we've been around for some time now, and they contacted me, and we did an interview, and they produced that beautiful, report on Kleros, and it was I got people coming from lots of places. I mean, because this is a super high, exposure place. So yeah, that was cool, and it's a nice article. It was very nice. So if you haven't read it, I mean, learn Spanish and you can read it. You can share the link on the on the Telegram. But yeah, if you speak
Or
Spanish,
just have the article translated on Lingual, and then you can read it.
or have it translated on Lingo, that's even better, because you even better, to different languages, So yeah. So guys, it begins. What can I tell you?
I believe that here in Argentina, at least, I see a lot of interest in crypto from lawyers. I don't know if that happens in other places as well. And to be honest, I'm not really sure why, but
I can tell you why.
It's great.
Tell you why. It's very easy to know why. Because nothing works. So currency doesn't work. 100% inflation. Bad governance, corruption. Of course, it's the world capital of crypto, right? That's what I always say. So that's the reason why.
Yeah, and I know that some lawyers end up learning about Kleros because of the courses, the Udemy courses. Well, about that, also Juan mentioned that there's a court ready for trial for tests disputes. I don't know if Juan can talk about that, but there's.
Go ahead, Juan.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, we have a demo course where you can experience, let's say, the whole Kleros journey as a juror. So you can stake in the court, submit evidence, and be juror without needing to have a financial commitment. So the idea was built for different universities. We have some demo in China with a participant of the last fellowship. Now we're doing something for some PhD students in Italy, and we are talking with other people interested. So if anyone knows any academic institution, or even for a private workshop where you want to experience and see how it works, you can just DM me, and we can take a look into it.
Yeah, so if you want Kleros at the university, and people to teach that, and so you have people understand how Kleros works, so please get in touch, because we are starting to do these pilots that we only did for a few places now, and we want to expand this everywhere we can. And who knows, maybe in the long run, it's going to be mandatory to learn about Kleros in high school before graduating. That's one of the requirements, or elementary school. Why not?
Also.
Also, another thing is that Shotaro is at Denver.
Hey guys, I'm walking to and from events. It's quite cold here in Denver. Been here since yesterday. There's a few a few events focused on Web3 social media. So there's many different protocols and projects who are trying to solve the problem about decentralized data storage, like where are where is the data about some social media content actually stored, and how do you retrieve it in a decentralized manner? And basically, no one has completely solved the problem. Everyone has a different approach. So today there is Nathan Schneider, this professor from like University of Colorado Boulder, will give a talk about the Fediverse, so federated social media platforms like Mastodon, and there's a few different protocols having a presence, like Farcasters, another decentralized social media project, which is sort of aligned with the Ethereum ecosystem. And where does Kleros play a role here? Yeah, trying to solve the moderation problem. That if and when any Web3 social media platform is really popular and gains popularity, then you will have a moderation problem. So the question is which protocol or platform will gain traction. And then tomorrow there's a Shelling Point event where Balaji Srinivasan, this tech entrepreneur and author of the network state will be speaking. There will be some workshops on constitution building, which can be relevant for any DAO that's integrating the Kleros governor. So, for example, Proof of Humanity. There's a lot of activity going on. So yeah, I'll give you guys an update next week after all of these events, and let you know the outcome.
Nice. If you are going to see Nathan Schneider, so say hi for him. So this is one of the persons I interviewed for the podcast. His interview is coming maybe next week or the other, I don't know. Well, Jean will know better, but he's one of the the recordings we already have. So he has researched Kleros a lot, not always from a very favorable perspective. He wrote that article on hyper-specialization of dispute resolution and cryptoeconomics and the limitations, to which Vitalik answered, and of course William answered as well. So yeah, but he's a great guy, and he's a super cool researcher. And so I'm actually going to see him at Harvard, the DAO conference I'm attending early April. So yeah, I'm going to see him there at his school.
Great. I'll try to get a few words with him.
Cool. I guess that's it. I don't know, any question, guys?
Yeah, I have to take a question from Michael Rigby. He asked me when marketing for VIA, and well, we are still like figuring it out how to market it, but we'll be putting out the communications this week, and we are reaching some of partners that are like some thought leaders on bridges. There will be spaces probably in 3 or 4 weeks that we are scheduling, and also we are joining some group discussions. So well, you will see something more about VIA soon, but we are also finishing the FAQ and the documentation, and we will do an update on the site. So there is still a bit to do before promoting VIA in full capacity.
Yeah. Also,
And sure.
Marketing for VIA. It's not that the kind of marketing you would put the name of VIA, the name of stadium. It's like a super specialized type of app that is going to be targeted at not a great number of people. So we're seeing how to actually go about this. Yeah, but this is something that for us is a priority, because bridges are going to be a big thing, and we think VI is going to fulfill a very big part of this space. So yeah, Shotaro, what you wanted to say?
Yeah. So I am putting a bit more developer resources into Veya, and yeah, JB and I want to get deploy the bridge on testnet soon, so people can play with it. Yeah, so maybe in a month's time, Veya will be live on testnet. People can play with it, but again, right, it's a little bit specialized. Like people who want to integrate with Veya, well, there are other dApp developers. So most end users of dApps might not be very interested in how a cross-chain dApp is working, but the dApp developer will be interested in using Veya. So Kleros is one user, and there could be even some token swapping dApps built on top. Veya is a primitive that hopefully other developers will build on top of.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, I guess that's it. I guess you can claim your POAP, and well, see you next week.
See you guys.
See you, everyone.
Later.
Bye.